for the first time ever. We've had a lot of weird last hours on a Friday, Peter Schrager. A lot of weird ones. Never won before. 2 back-to-back triple headers for Wild Card Weekend. History being made.
They're calling it Super Wild Card Weekend, and I think it is a super idea. I mean, by the time you wake up tomorrow, there's already a playoff game about to start. I cannot wait.
Good Morning Football brought to you by Truist. Kyle Brandt. These games are going to be I'm not saying it.
What do you mean?
Juggernaut.
Oh, a juggernaut. Yeah,
Not
we put that.
saying it.
I think Super Wild Card Weekend is a juggernaut. Okay, I'm going to
Yeah?
go with that.
Okay, love it. It kicks off with the Colts and the Bills, of course. Hey, Mike Garafolo is here because Nate Burleson is actually going to be in the booth for the game down in New Orleans as the Saints host the Bears.
Folks ask me where I got this jacket. Nate's closet. Where else do you think I got it?
I thought that was for members only in that closet.
During a pandemic, yes.
I don't know if that's according to protocol, but okay, time for the lead block.
Lead block.
Let's do this thing, guys. Taking a look at what is up ahead. The road to Super Bowl 55 starts with 6 games, 2 days of triple header. It is called Super Wild Card Weekend, and it kicks off at 1 p.m. Eastern tomorrow morning. One wild card weekend. And for the nightcap, on Saturday, Tom Brady and the Bucs take on Washington. For the latest on that one, let's send it over to our very own Jimmy Palmtrees.
Washington football team's head coach Ron Rivera would love to play on Sunday as opposed to Saturday night to help his starting quarterback Alex Smith get as healthy as possible with his injured right calf. Smith is still sore. They will reevaluate it once again Friday morning, and they still may rotate quarterback play between him and backup Taylor Heineke. Now, right tackle Morgan Moses told me at any time when Alex Smith is not out there, what they lose most is his veteran leadership. He said there's not a time where he's not giving someone the smallest pointer or the biggest information that he is seeing while he's out there playing quarterback, and that helps their unit as a whole. With the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and star wide receiver Mike Evans, who is a game-time decision, they believe they are very deep at the wide receiver spot. They believe that Antonio Brown has grown by leaps and bounds the last couple of weeks, and he would be the guy in their 2 wide receiver sets to slide in opposite of Chris Godwin. They still have Scotty Miller to help out with the deep ball threat if Mike Evans isn't able to participate in that aspect. They believe they are just fine, even though Bruce Arians says it takes more than one player to pick up the slack for a guy like Mike Evans.
Hair looking high and tight, just in time for Super Wild Card Weekend. James, thank you so much. You've all heard the Chase Young comments. Of course, I just want to remind people, he wasn't saying them to the camera. He didn't grab the microphone and say, like, Brady, I want you. No, he was saying it in the excitement of getting a win and locking up the NFC East, and he was leaving the field. He was just enjoying the moment.
I had him for a one-on-one after that. I wish he would have given me that answer when I asked him.
Right, but he wasn't meaning to do that, and he actually really, as a mature rookie, came out and talked about what it was after that. But all of that we know, okay? Should Brady and the Bucs be afraid, Mike G, of the Washington front?
Be afraid. Be very afraid. No, I don't think so, and this is the reason why. Right now, I am seeing a Tom Brady that looks like the Tom Brady of old, and by that I mean right to the top of his drop, ping, 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 ball out immediately. This offense is starting to really click, and he's looking like he's got a better grasp of it. So I think as good as this front is, and they're going to get through, I don't think they get there in time. I mean, I take it back to the Super Bowl between the Patriots and the Seahawks. I remember 2 things about that Super Bowl. Okay. One, sitting next to me when you were allowed to sit next to people, Pete Schrags, who said to me at kickoff,
right before the kickoff, Mike.
Flash bulbs going off everywhere. He leans over to me and goes, Mike, I love the Super Bowl. I said, I know, Peter. He goes, no. I love the Super Bowl.
I do.
I was like, oh, okay, cool. But the other thing I remember is Michael Bennett absolutely coming through on every single play, but just couldn't get to Brady because the ball kept getting out so quickly and he kept getting frustrated and all these things. I see a little bit of that in this game here. So I don't think they should be afraid, but they got to make sure they're clicking offensively.
4th fewest sacks all season, this offensive line for Tom Brady.
Kyle, do you remember where you were when Katy Perry performed at the halftime show?
Looking at Left Shark.
I was there.
I remember sitting next to you at a few Super Bowl. You're stuffing your face the whole time. There's so many sandwiches.
I was next to Eric Burkhart.
Speak.
The nachos were so good.
Sub sandwich.
Mike Garafolo and I watched Left Shark together for the Katy Perry performance, arm in arm, hugging the entire time. In a less sentimental moment, I don't see how Washington scores enough points to beat the Buccaneers this weekend. I love the Washington defense. I love what Chase Young does. I love what Montez Sweat does. I don't know if Alex Smith on one leg, and I'm not saying this like jokingly, he literally cannot move. On the Sunday night against the Eagles, against the third stringers, he was struggling to even get out of the pocket. And then with that offense, that wasn't putting up a lot of points anyway. I just don't see it. So to me, no. And I look at Brady. And gosh, Brady, it started off pretty shaky, that Thursday night game against the Bears. And I mean, I have horrible memories of him struggling to do it and yelling at teammates and everything that looks so bad. Brady's been amazing the last couple of weeks, and he's been awesome the last month. Let's look at Brady's numbers, how he finished the season here, because we're in a Rodgers, Mahomes, Josh Allen world.
Right.
You could argue that Tom Brady, with 11 wins, 4,633 yards, and 40 touchdowns, deserves an MVP vote too.
How about this guy, age, Peter? 43 years old.
Kyle, with the exception of maybe you, there's not many guys that look better and stronger and better at 43 when they get this point in the season. I don't think you could be scared of Washington. Last year, the Titans were a wrecking ball, and the Patriots were not good. Mm-hmm. So when they played them, it was like, I think the Titans might be able to beat them. Like, I love Washington's defense. I love Ron Rivera. Scott Turner, Alex Smith, and whatever else that Washington offense is going to roll out there has to have the best day of their lives to compete with that offense.
You never lost faith in them.
Right.
You've been shaky, inconsistent, crazy games. You never lost faith.
Like on a cliff. Well, we'll see.
Let's do this one more time with spirit. Let's run the Washington defensive line videotape. This might be the last time we do this for a while. It's incredible, and this is why we run this every single day when we talk about this game. We're trying to talk up Washington because there's really nothing else to run. We've talked about their pass rush. We've talked about all of them, Sweat and Payne and all of them. You know what's funny? I was walking around here where we are in our studio and during a commercial break, and I happened to come by a monitor. It's got another network on, and they're talking about this game. Every single person's like, it's this Washington pass rush. They got to get Tom Brady off his spot. It's the same thing, and there's a reason for that. It's because it's the only shot they have, and it's a little bit of a desperate shot. Mike, I think it's great that you brought up how quickly Brady's getting the ball out, because we've had this conversation before. As a show, as a league, a few years back, the Patriots played the Chargers in the playoffs in one of the most one-sided postseason games you'll ever watch. But all the talk leading up to that was Bosa and Ingram. Bosa and Ingram. And could they get to him? Could they get to him? Do you remember Joey Bosa was mic'd up that day? And do you remember what his frustration was? Let's take a look back.
It's amazing how quickly the ball comes out of his hand. I don't think Brady's been touched today.